So by now, most of you know that Avengers Infinity War at this point is around 3 to 4 weeks of shooting worth done. Now obviously there's a lot that's going to go into this movie as it's shooting for the next 5 to 8 months. We don't really know the stop date, but I'm pretty sure we'll know when they post that production has wrapped. Now obviously the big thing that I've already covered was Spider-Man's involvement. And obviously Spider-Man only shot for about 3 weeks, which means he probably has a more minor role unless he's going to come back later and shoot some other stuff. But the interesting thing that has kind of spawned from that conversation and knowing how the Hollywood business works is the fact that every time you make a new movie, you tend to want to produce new costumes, new suits, etc. for the reason of selling more action figures. Now, for every kid that sees, the movie, they're probably going to go home and buy up a ton of action figures with their parents' money. God knows I did this when I was younger, and God knows tons of kids are still doing this now. It's a common thing, and the toy business is very, very lucrative. Now, obviously, time and time again, I've mentioned this, and I have to keep mentioning it for new listeners. Spider-Man is the #1 hottest selling superhero in the world. He outsells Batman, Superman, and every Avenger combined every year. That's why you constantly see new Spider-Man video games come out, even if they're bad quality, because they're going to move a ton of units. That's why there's always a new Spider-Man cartoon, and that's why there's always new Spider-Man suits in those cartoons and new villains and variants, because they sell ridiculously well. Sony realized that they were very stupid to sell the merchandising rights to Spider-Man, and Disney was very, quick on buying them back. Now, obviously, one thing that's going to help is changing Spider-Man suits, and we already know that Spider-Man Homecoming seems like he's going to be wearing 3 different suits, and who knows if they're keeping any other one secret. Every movie Iron Man appears in, he seems to have 2 to 4 suits. Hell, Iron Man 3, he literally has like 50. And if you look at the merchandise sales for Iron Man 3, they were ridiculous. It sold through the roof, and those giant collectible $600 figures that they made of each suit were huge sellers. I mean, it's just insane how much it moves. So it stands to reason that Spider-Man is probably going to have new suits coming down the road. After Homecoming, he's probably going to get, new suit for his own standalone movie. Which brings us to the topic at hand of talking about Spider-Man in Avengers Infinity War. Now, for all intents and purposes, from what we've seen, it seems that wherever they were standing in that one set video was probably off-planet. It doesn't look like Earth, so that brings to the speculation. Now, the other thing I want to mention is, we know over the last decade, Sony's been trying to get a Spider-Man movie off the ground that could spin off into a Venom movie. And a Venom movie that could spin off successfully off the ground, it never happened. They've tried 3 times in the last 8 years. Never happened. It's just not happening. They can't get it done. Now, with this new partnership, it stands to reason that they're going to try again, and we heard that they were, and it's been very silent. Now, why exactly is Sony waiting to move forward with anything regarding to Spider-Man movies when they were literally gung-ho to get Amazing Spider-Man 3, Sinister 6, a spin-off movie with villains, and Venom already out by the end of 2017? And believe it or not, 2018 was going to see the Amazing Spider-Man 4, I think, was it? Yeah, 4, because 3 would have come out 2016. So they had 5 movies planned in 3 years, and they pulled back on everything. Venom is one of the most lucrative figures you could have out there. So where's the Venom movie? Where is it? I'm going to begin speculating that some of the things I heard from people about Spider-Man's role in Infinity War and Venom's future are going to be intertwined. Now, what I mean by that is, Venom's symbiote is from space. We all know that. Now, we all know how Spider-Man got the black suit. Contrary to belief, he didn't get it from a random rock, he got it during the Secret Wars. Now, who's to say that the planet they're going to end up on isn't sort of like Secret Wars based? They love to reference a ton of things, And maybe Spidey gets the black suit that enhances him in Infinity War. And he's like, yeah, guys, I'm going to keep this. I'm going to go home. Yo, I got to go. I got school and stuff, you know. It's Star Wars. Send me back into Milano. It'll be all good. And he goes back and he has this enhanced suit. We pick up with Spider-Man Homecoming 2. The black suit is the thing he's wearing. And by then, we're going to be, 2019 when the second movie's coming out? So now we've had time. We can see him in the suit, maybe an entire movie. And by the time the third movie comes out, now there's Spider-Man. Now there's history with the suit. Now you can spin off into a Venom movie and you have the world built up. Now you got a villain that's worthy. And now you can expand into any other Venom you want. You can do Flash Thompson, you can do research on the suit, you can spin it however you want, and you're not shoehorning this Venom out there. And no matter what anybody says, yes, Sony can go out there and produce as many movies as they want, right? But imagine if Sony goes out there and produces a crap Venom movie that only damages the Spider-Man brand. And if Homecoming's going to be good, and it looks like it's going to be, and he's going to keep appearing in the Avengers movies and they're going to share them, why would you want to damage that? It just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm willing to bet that we're going to see the black suit appear in Infinity War. It only makes sense for the future of both companies. And imagine the money. Hell, Scrooge McFeige might be sharing that, pool of money with someone else at Sony pretty soon. Because we know it's going to print money. Venom moves things ridiculously. And that only leads to more money. So of course you're going to want it.